follow, after Jesus went into heaven, his followers went around in the countryside telling other people about Jesus and about his love, and starting up new churches and getting believers. And one of those people who went around was a man by the name of Paul. And Paul would go, as he journeyed from place to place, he would preach and he would teach about Jesus, and people would come to him and they would believe in Jesus, and a lot of times they would start churches. But some people didn't like what Paul had to say. It kind of caused them problems with what they believed, or with the money that they made, or how they had a living. And today's story is sort of about that. The Bible tells the story of Paul and Silas. And Paul and Silas were they were out preaching, and somebody got mad at them and had the soldiers come and arrest them. And they were beaten and they were put into prison, and they put, as you can see on on their ankles, there were chains on their ankles, and they were placed in a dark, damp kind of dungeon, kind of jail, and that's where they were. But they don't look sad, do they? Isn't that amazing? The Bible says that at midnight, Paul and Silas were sitting on the floor in chains, and they were singing praises to God, and they were praying and shouting and just glorifying God. And all the prisoners heard them, and the jailers probably heard them too. Wouldn't that be amazing to hear somebody in that kind of situation who was happy? Well, something spectacular happened then. There was an earthquake, and the Bible says that the earth shook, and that the cells rattled. They shook, and all the cell doors came open, and the chains fell off of their feet for all the prisoners. And the head soldier or jailer who was there had probably sort of dozed off, and all of a sudden woke up with all the noise, and he looked up and he saw that the door of the prison, or of the jail, was open, and he thought, oh no, all the prisoners have escaped, and I'm going to be in trouble, and they're going to kill me because I've let all the prisoners escape. And so he was even going to take his own life. And Paul called out to him and said, no, we're still here. We haven't gone anywhere. And the Bible says the jailer brought Paul and Silas out, and he started talking to him. And as they talked, the jailer, who is this gentleman right over here, he said, I want to know more about this Jesus you keep talking about. And he actually took Paul and Silas to his home, and probably gave them a bath and clean clothes and bandaged their wounds from where they had been beaten. And they spent time listening to Paul and listening to about what Jesus had done. And an amazing thing happened. The Bible says that not only was the jailer saved and he became a believer, but that everybody in his household became a believer, and they were all baptized. Wouldn't that be a glorious day? And probably the message of this story is, besides how great and powerful God is and what he can take care of, is for us to remember that even in bad circumstances, or situations that we think have no hope, like Paul and Silas sitting on the floor of a jail, arrested with chains on, that we should remember that God always has another plan, and that we need to look to God for hope and help, and that he will get us through no matter what the occasion. Well, there were some times when Paul was in prison, and he was in prison for a long time. But this particular time, God had a reason, and God opened the doors of the jail and gave Paul the opportunity to tell somebody about God and for someone to be saved. Isn't that a wonderful story? The Bible's full of them. I enjoy telling them. You have a wonderful week. Take care. Bye-bye.